How much does quality matter? If a company isn't budgeting for professional recording, is iPhone content better than nothing at all? So we talked about this a little bit. So let's get into this. Let's talk about pros and cons on this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I love this question. And I mean, let's be real, right? When is the last time you saw a cell phone commercial that talked about the cellular capabilities of this phone? That's never like you'll never drop a call or you'll be able to hear the other person on the other end of the line just perfectly clearly. It's never going to be any talking over one another. No, there's none of that. It's always about the camera,
Mm,
right? Every cell phone commercial talks about the camera, and it's because they're good. Like if you have anything above like an iPhone 8, probably you can make a movie on it, right? They've Filmmakers have actually tested this and like done this as just kind of like a joke thing, is I'm going to go make this movie on an iPhone, and it works. They look good. So visual quality is never a concern with if you're using like a newer version of an iPhone or a Galaxy or something like that. What I will say, and this is kind of the cardinal rule of just making video, if you are recording sound, the sound has to be good.
mm,
So users will almost always forgive bad visuals if there's good sound, but they will never forgive, awesome visuals with bad sound.
mm.
So, you can set up a voice memo to record as you're, doing your iPhone video, or you can have a secondary phone there that's recording the audio specifically, or you can even put like an audio recorder, a separate audio recorder in your pocket and capture sound that way. But it has to sound good. People have to be able to absorb the information that you're trying to communicate via that video.
Now, are there microphones that can work with a phone to go ahead and get it fed in line, or are we not there yet with iPhones? Do they probably like their native microphone?
I'm sure there are apps and like adapters that you can use with an iPhone or
Yeah.
a Galaxy. I don't have the names of those like right off the top of my head, but if there's like a situation where you're recording on two different things, say you have an iPhone set up and you're recording, audio and visual on the iPhone, but you also have a secondary device set up to capture audio, maybe just do like a snap, right? As soon as you're about to start, just, oh yeah, or clap,
Hmm.
or a really loud snap, something that will capture that spike in sound. And that way it's easy to sync it up if you have to do any sort of editing.
Yeah, and even if you're not the person doing it, whoever you're giving it to is going to say, "Oh, yeah, I see the spike here."
Yeah.
So it's like always give me a clapper simulation or a hand clap.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's funny now. Some of the Netflix shows where they do a lot of folks sitting down to be interviewed, kind of the current day version of the old reality TV
Sure.
confessionals.
Yeah.
I'm noticing they're keeping in a lot of folks sitting down and just doing a clap. So like even out there in the field with stuff that's making it to Netflix, this kind of self-produced part of the creative process, it's kind of working its way in. I don't think that's all bad. I think that's really interesting that some of that's making it into camera,
Hmm.
that we get to see a little bit of kind of what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And I
Behind the
know
curtain.
yeah, and we don't produce videos with iPhones. We're usually using, a lot of equipment and, lights and all that setup. But that you've kind of answered the question of like lowering the threat level and getting started and getting your brand out there and answering questions. And there's really no barrier to entry. And, there's some things to watch out for, but there are workarounds.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, I'll be perfectly clear. I love when we get to make a beautiful video, right? I want it to look good, I want it to sound good, I want it to do good. But if there's something keeping you from doing video and that something is cost or just not knowing where to start with your iPhone and start by answering customer questions and then using that in as many places as possible.
Love it. That's the soundbite right there. That's a really good nugget. I know everybody's going to appreciate that.